I'm going to record. Nobody's faces are on the recording, as you can see. So, but last time we were looking at the alphabet, and I want to just focus in on certain letters. The O. Where'd he go? What are we using? Invisible ink here? Yeah, there we are. The O, which is the omega, the last letter of the Greek alphabet. And then the epsilon, iota, and sigma, which is pronounced ace, and then A, epsilon, iota, and then omicron, mu, epsilon, and nu, and then again, epsilon, tau, epsilon, and then omicron, upsilon, sigma, iota. Okay? And the reason why I'm picking this, and here's how you say this. It's O, ace, A, amen, eta, usi. Say that with me if you would. O, ace, A, amen, eta, usi. O, ace, A, amen, eta, usi. And this is how you look at I, you, he, she, and it. We, you, that's that plural, meaning more than one, and they. And that's how you say it in Greek. O, ace, A, amen, eta, usi. And these are the endings that you put on many, many verbs. So if you were to say I see, you would say, use the word blep, which is beta, epsilon, lambda, pe, or pi. So that's ble. And if you wanted to say I see, you put O at the end. If you wanted to say you see, which one person you see, you would put the ace at the end. If you want to say he or she or it says or sees, you would put the A at the end. And if you want to go into the plural, you would put the amen for we, eta for you plural, and usi at the end. So really, the Greek becomes very easy in the sense if you know these four items, these four things here, right here, these four things here, then you can pretty much take any verb and put the endings on it, and you're good to go. It's like in Greek, in Spanish, when you say, yo quiero comer, and I need someone to translate that for me. Yo quiero comer.
I want to eat.
I want to eat, right? It's lunchtime. Or if you wanted to say, you put the comer, right? Yo quiero, which is the I on the end of quiero, okay, in Spanish. So you can say, and then if you want to say you want to eat, you would say something else instead of, you would put a different ending on the verb. But you do this in Greek. So you have blepo, I see. What was another verb we looked at before? I think you have luo. Lu means to loose or to untie. Somebody's tied in a knot. And so let me clear all this and let me write it again. O, ace, A, amen, eta, usi.
What do they mean? What do they mean again? O is you?
I.
Oh, I.
Ace is you,
I, you.
and that's singular. A is he, she, or it. Amen is we. Etta is you, plural. And usi is they. So it's very easy to remember if you just go in your head, O ace a, amen etta usi. O ace a, amen etta usi. It's like Ine matovu mana, yin shevathakim gam ya. God.
Now you're going to confuse us. That's Hebrew.
You get some little you know, or you can say Aliyera weiter kommt der Weihnachtsmann. You know, put a little song to it, is what I'm saying. And you can remember the song and remember the foreign language. That was a little German Christmas carol. But O ace a, amen etta usi. So that's where you can go with this. And so let me let's see. What's one of the most basic words? Agape, right? Agape. And the verb for agape is agape. Agapo, okay? That's I love. And then if you want to say you love, you would say agape. You, agapes, you love. And you go o ace a amen et usi. You take the root of the word, which is love, and then you tack on the appropriate ending. We want another word. Let's see. We remember this one here.
Stuo?
Pistuo, I believe. I'd have to, my
Does that
spelling.
mean believe?
Yeah, I believe, with the O at the end. That's pistuo. It's pistis. Here's, I guess there's no pisto. Okay, I believe. This one, let's see, yeah. Pistata. That's you, plural, believe. I guess having a background in the Greek language, this is why sometimes I like the King James version of the Bible. Because in the modern translations, you don't get this differentiation between thou and ye. See, but this would be ye believe, not thou believes. Okay, so the ending again, pistuo, pistuit. They believe would be, you'd be usi, right? Usi, they believe. So the point of the matter is it's o ace a amen eta usi. And once you have that, you're pretty good with learning a lot of the language. You know, one of the words that really fascinates me is this word. Is it genos? I think it's genos. It's gnosko. Gnos. I think it's about that. But this word here is know, to know, okay? And see the GN, the gamma nu in the beginning, in English comes out to be KN. We call it no, but we pronounce it no, right? No. But in Old English, they used to pronounce that k. It was kno. And gnosko, I think in it comes about in a lot of the European East, what is it called? The Indo-European languages, this idea of knowing. What is it in Spanish? Maybe ane, right?
No has two words in Spanish, conocer and saber. Saber is for like information.
Okay.
Conocer is for like a person or more intimate knowledge.
Yeah. Well, in Greek, it's the same word, really, isn't it? Gnosko.
Can you
Oh.
go through the alphabet again? Just the
Sure.
alphabet with the alphabet and the sounds, and maybe let us try saying them because I'm forgetting
Okay.
some of the letters.
Okay, that's fine. We have alpha, beta, right? Gamma. Okay. So it's A, B, and G.
Can you put the English equivalents? Okay.
B, and G. Alpha, beta, gamma. Delta. Delta is the D. Epsilon is the E. And I'm going to put a little curly Q on the top of that because it's the short E. All right. So we have alpha, beta, gamma, epsilon. Right? Alpha, beta, gamma, epsilon. And hold on just a second here. Then we have the letter that we would think would be at the end of the alphabet, but it's really right here. It's the zeta, which is a Z sound. And then we have eta, which looks like an N, but it's not an N. It's an E again, but this time it's a long E.
I don't like that because I still think of a long E as an E sound, not an A sound.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
sorry.
never can understand that.
Okay. Well, if you're talking to a modern Greek, the pronunciations are going to be completely different.
Mm.
Because modern Greek has changed. They pronounce a lot of their vowels the same. Then you have the circle with the line through it, and that's the h sound. Theta. And in ancient Greek, they actually pronounced it th instead of the. Like we say the or the theology, right? We pronounce that H there, but that's the theta. And then you have the iota, which is the I sound. And then you have the kappa, which isn't hard to learn. It's the K sound. See, they look the same, don't they? And then you have the lambda. And then you have that's the L. Maybe I should just, I don't know if I want to do that way.
Print an L.
Oh, wait a minute, got to get the drawing back here. L, okay. And then we have mu, which is the M. And then the nu, it looks like a V, but it's not a V. I don't like that, right, Nancy? It's the N, okay? See, there's some.
It's the what?
The N.
No, I don't mind the letters being different. I just get confused when the English letter is. Just forget it.
Okay. Okay. And then we have this funny looking letter here. Which is the psi. I guess you could say it's the X. Okay.
So it's psi.
Psi. Or the KS.
Psi.
It's x. Okay. scare your kitty. Okay. And we have actually a word. If you put the epsilon and the x together, this means out. And we have the word exit from Greek. X. So that's where the psi comes in. But there's also other words that have the psi in it as well. All right. Let's see. After the psi, we have the wait a minute. Omicron, which is the O. Hey, it looks the same, doesn't it? Put a little.
I like that one.
You like that one? But we put a little O on at the end, on top, because that's the short O. Then we have the one that mathematicians always talk about, pi. You ever notice pi is 3.14159? Well, I used to know like 40 digits of that number, but it's the P sound. Oh, you don't like that one either, right?
No, that's easy to remember.
Well, but what about this one here?
Which one?
The one I just made, the rho. That's the R sound, but it looks like a P.
That doesn't bother me. It's when you have a small e with a long line on it and you're saying it's a instead of e. That's what bothers me.
Okay, sorry. That's the way I learned it. Maybe some other Greek teacher would teach you something different.
No, it's the language. It's not the teacher.
Okay, then we have the sigma, which has actually two forms. And in ancient Greek, it also had a third form, which looked like a C. But this is the S sound. Now, why the two forms? Because in the letter, in the word itself, it has this circle. At the end of the word, it has the more S shape. And then we have 6 more, and then we're done. We have the T, which is tau. So that's the T sound. And the T in Greek usually has a little curly Q at the end, like that. Then we have the U, upsilon. That's a U. And then we have the chi. Oops, started that wrong here. The chi looks like an X, chi. That's the CH sound. And then we have the psi. And that's the PS sound. And then lastly, we have the omega. Looks like a W, but not like a W because it doesn't have the boop boop. It doesn't have the line, the sharp edges. It's more curved. And this is an O.
So it's 24 letters altogether.
Yeah, and this is a long O. And there you go. There's the Greek alphabet.
Now, why don't can we go and say the alphabet like with you? Just the Greek letters to try to learn them?
Yeah, well, if you would in a fraternity in college, sometimes they would grab you by the ankles, shake you up and down, and have you say it. And you needed to know it forward and backward. Okay, so we go alpha,
Alpha,
beta,
beta,
gamma,
gamma,
delta,
delta,
epsilon,
epsilon,
zeta,
zeta,
eta,
eta,
theta,
theta,
iota,
iota,
kappa,
kappa, lambda,
mu,
mu,
nu,
nu,
psi,
I,
omicron,
omicron,
pi,
I,
rho,
rho,
sigma,
sigma,
tau, upsilon,
epsilon,
chi,
chi,
psi,
Psi.
omega.
Do you remember when you used to say the alphabet like Donald Duck for our children?
Don't ask me that.
I'd like to hear you do that in Greek.
I can't get it down. Nah, I can't do it anymore.
Yes, you can.
Nah. Let me practice that for next week.
We need a good laugh.
Put me on the spot here. Okay, but there's the Greek letters. Actually, in ancient Greek, like Homeric Greek, and before that, they were all written in capital letters only. These are the small letters, which are a later invention for speed of writing. Yeah, and another, just an interesting sideline. When they used to write their words, they didn't leave spaces between the words. And that was because a lot of the old paper, the papyrus, the vellum, and the stone that letters were carved in were very expensive, and they didn't want to make their words or their documents any longer by needing extra words in it, so they got rid of all the spaces. Another interesting thing was originally Greek was written from right to left, but somehow it got changed to read from left to right. And in that transition, what?
Where the words, like, was there any kind of notation where one word would end and another word, even though they weren't spaces, was there any kind of tiny little mark or anything that would separate them?
No.
You know, just, boy, that would be hard.
And it was all capital letters too, so you couldn't tell. Yeah. But really, if you know a language, is it all right if I get rid of this? Can I clear all this? Anybody still looking at it?
Yeah, I screenshotted it. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, boom. Let's say this. If you wrote this, that's supposed to be an H. Can you read that?
Yep.
Huh?
I went to the store today.
Yeah. Do you need spaces between the letters and the words?
It would be very hard though if you were writing that all the time. You know, speed readers, you see sentences and pictures. Boy, that would be hard, I would think, to do speed reading
Yeah, I guess.
with it like that.
We don't live in that day. Actually, it wasn't until the time, I believe it was Augustine, which is like in the 4th or 5th century, that they actually started reading quietly, where you would read silently. Prior to that, everybody would read out loud when they read something. And they would think, I believe, something was wrong with you if you read it quietly. And I think that's where we get the idea of a blab school, where everybody would be reading out loud. And so don't, mark me on that, but I think that's the way it was, that everybody went that way. All right. You want more, or would you like to end here? Because I can give you.
That's probably enough for one day. That was quite a lot to think about already.
Okay.
Yes, I think my brain is exploding.
Let's just remember. O, ace, a, amen, eta, usi.
We should make a jingle out of that.
O es a amen ete usi. O es a amen ete usi. If you remember that, you're good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna